They pulled me out on the deck of a ship with no land in sight.
Behind them, Europe. Ahead of them, nothing. Open water, unknown water, the kind of water that for 1,000 years sailors had refused to cross because they believed it simply fell off the edge of the world. The captain held me in his palm. He did not pray. He had moved past prayer. He looked down at my needle. It trembled. Spoon once, then settled.
I am just a compass, a magnetized needle sealed inside brass and glass.
I have no sail, no ambition, no understanding of borders or flags or the word conquest.
But I pointed the way to new worlds. I did not know some of those worlds would be unmade by the finding.
This is my story. I was born in China, not the compass you are imagining, not brass and glass and a rotating dial. That came later. I began as a spoon carved from lodestone, a naturally magnetic iron ore placed on a smooth bronze plate. When it was set down and left to settle, the handle always pointed the same direction, south. The Chinese called it the south-pointing spoon. It was used not for navigation at first, but for feng shui, for divination, for deciding where to build a home, where to bury the dead, which direction a door should face to invite good fortune. I began as an instrument of belief, of alignment with the universe.
It would take several more centuries before someone thought to take me to sea.
By the 11th century, Chinese navigators were floating magnetized needles on water in bowls, using them to hold course when clouds blocked the stars. Arab traders encountered this technology and refined it, gave me the housing, the pivot point, the graduated dial. By the 12th century, I had reached the Mediterranean.
I had left the spice routes of the East and entered the imagination of Europe.
And Europe, in the 1400s, was hungry. The 15th century was a century of want. Europe wanted spices, black pepper, cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, not for flavor, for survival, to preserve meat through brutal winters, to mask the smell of food that had already started to turn. Spices were so valuable that a single sack of pepper could pay a soldier's salary for a year. The problem was the route, the overland Silk Road, which had connected Europe to Asia for centuries, had become dangerous, fragmented, and expensive. The Ottoman Empire controlled key passages and taxed everything that moved through them. European merchants were being squeezed out of a trade they depended on. Someone needed to find a way around. And so the kings of Portugal looked at the ocean, the Atlantic, the unknown, the edge of the world, or so everyone feared.
They looked at me.
With me, a ship could hold a heading in total darkness, in cloud cover, in fog so thick you could not see the bow from the stern. Without me, every voyage beyond sight of land was a gamble with death. With me, it became something else.
It became a plan.
The age of exploration was not born from courage alone. It was born from technology. And I was the technology that made it real.
Historically accurate moment.
Note, what follows covers 3 real voyages. Zheng He, 1405 to 1433. Vasco da Gama, 1497 to 1499. And Christopher Columbus, 1492. All of which relied on the magnetic compass. Let me take you to 3 ships, 3 moments, 3 different hands that held me.
The first, Zheng He, 1405, the South China Sea.
The fleet was enormous, over 300 ships, some of them the largest wooden vessels ever built. The admiral, Zheng He, was a Muslim eunuch from Yunnan province who had served the Chinese emperor since childhood. His mission was not conquest, It was diplomacy, trade, and the projection of Chinese civilization across the known world. I was on his flagship. Over 7 voyages spanning nearly 30 years, Zheng He reached Southeast Asia, India, Arabia, and the east coast of Africa. He brought back giraffes for the emperor's zoo. He negotiated trade agreements. He demonstrated, without firing a single cannon, that China was the most powerful civilization on Earth. Then the emperor died. The new court declared the voyages wasteful. The fleet was burned. The records were destroyed. China turned inward.
The world's greatest navigator. And history barely remembers him. The second, Vasco da Gama, 1497, the Atlantic coast of Africa.
The Portuguese had been inching down the African coast for decades. Prince Henry the Navigator had made it his life's obsession. But it was da Gama who finally rounded the Cape of Good Hope, the southern tip of Africa, and sailed north and east into the Indian Ocean. He reached India in 1498, Calicut on the Malabar coast. He brought back pepper, cinnamon, and precious stones. Portugal made back 60 times the cost of the voyage. The overland spice route was finished. The Ottoman stranglehold was broken.
And Europe had found its way to the east by going around the world instead of through it. The third, Christopher Columbus, 1492, the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Columbus was not looking for America. He was looking for Asia. He had calculated, incorrectly as it turned out, that the Earth was small enough that sailing west from Spain would bring him to Japan. He was wrong about the distance. He was wrong about what he would find. For 33 days, his crew saw nothing but water. The men grew terrified. There were whispers of mutiny. Columbus himself, in his private journal, wrote that he was beginning to doubt. But every day he took me out. Every day my needle pointed west. And on October 12th, 1492, a sailor named Rodrigo de Triana climbed to the crow's nest and saw land. Columbus called it the Indies. He called the people he found there Indians. He was wrong about both.
A new world had been found, and I had pointed the way. Interesting historical detail to share with viewers.
Here is something fascinating that most people do not know about me. I do not point to the North Pole. I point to the magnetic North Pole, which is not the same thing, and it moves. Every year, the magnetic North Pole drifts. Today, it has moved so far from where it was in Columbus's time that a compass from 1492 and a compass from today would give you meaningfully different readings in the same spot. Columbus noticed this during his voyage. His compass needle was behaving strangely. Deviating from the astronomical north, he could calculate from the stars. He was so alarmed that he hid the readings from his crew, afraid they would panic. What he had discovered, without knowing it, was magnetic declination, the difference between magnetic north and true north. It took scientists another century to fully understand what Columbus had stumbled upon.
The man who found a new world by accident also discovered one of the fundamental mysteries of Earth's magnetic field, and kept it secret because he was afraid of a mutiny. History, I have learned, is never as clean as the textbooks make it.
People always ask, what made the age of exploration possible? They speak of brave sailors and ambitious kings, of cartographers and astronomers, of the human hunger to know what lies beyond the horizon. They are right, but nobody asks about the compass. Nobody asks what it felt like to be the one instrument standing between a sailor and the void, between the known world and the unknown, between a civilization sailing toward its greatest achievement and toward its greatest crime. I will tell you what I have learned from a lifetime of pointing in one direction while the world turned around me.
A direction is not a destiny. I can tell you which way is north, what you build when you get there, and what you destroy. That was always your choice.
My name was never written in any history book.
But every history book ever written describes a world that I helped create.
Every border, every empire, every nation that calls itself discovered
Was first a direction,